Here's a story that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he went to America in 1929. He, first of all, he escaped Russia. He was actually driven out of Russia because he made them so much trouble. And then he wanted to go back into Russia to pray at the graves of his forefathers, of the previous Rebbe's of Chabad, but they wouldn't allow him to go into Russia. They wouldn't allow him back. Wouldn't allow him back. So what he did is he decided he'll go to the land of Israel. In the land of Israel, there's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, holy people, and he came here to pray. And after he was here, just by the way, after he left, there was the massacres in 1929 in Hebron, Tarpat, just like a few days after he left. And then he went to America, and he stayed in America for like almost a year. In a year. Right. When he was in America, so it was sort of unusual, what was going on. I mean, America, there were religious Jews, but they were very insulated and very isolated. They kept as much as possible away from the negative influences of the world, as much as possible. So they bastioned themselves in places of learning and wherever. And for a Jew to come out and to advertise true Judaism, Torah and commandments, was very unusual. Very unusual. There was the reform movement that was moving over there, the conservative movement, right? But they were watering Judaism down, and they were advertising that you have to water it down. They were advertising that you can't, you have to have user-friendly Judaism. It has to be not so many Torah, not so many commandments. You have to be like the non-Jews. The Reform said you have to be totally like the non-Jews. The conservative says you got to conserve a little bit, do a little bit something. But both of them advertised that you don't have to be crazy about Judaism. You don't have to go according to what the rabbis say and all these laws of the rabbis, etc. Comes along a rabbi, and he had escaped from communist Russia, which that sort of gave him a little bit of notoriety. And and he was saying that you have to, that it's fun, it's pleasant, and that's who you really are, is to do all the commandments and to learn the Torah, and that God is close to every single Jew, even if he doesn't do any commandments. But if he's so close, even though you don't deserve it, so, if he's close to you for nothing, so do for him commandments for nothing. Anyway, so the Rebbe was advertising this, right? So there were young Jews. Now, in those days, this is 1929, he came over. In those days, it was very, very popular for Jews to leave Judaism. Very popular. Either their parents had already left Judaism, or they knew that they were Jews, and it was a certain pride that you had to be a non-religious Jew. It's like sort of, bravery. I'm free. I've broken free. And a lot of them really scoffed at religious Judaism. In general, that was Reform Judaism was making fun. It was like a scoffing. What do you have to do these commandments for only ridiculous, only old men or something like that? Only paranoid, ridiculous people. We're free. We're open with it. So there was an advertisement in the paper that the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe was going to be. If I'm not mistaken, it was in Chicago. In such and such a house, and he would receive people. So there was a group of young Jewish men, young Jewish fellows, maybe in their 20s, and they had all left Judaism, all of them. But they came from either religious families or, their grandparents were religious. But that was old stuff. It was antiquated. You did Torah and mitzvahs when you didn't have anything else to do. You were sitting at the home, whatever, waiting to die. So, you wanted to make your bed in heaven. So you do commandments. But a normal person doesn't do commandments. It's not, it's just old, it's dead. So they heard this rabbi is coming. So they decided they're going to go and make fun of him. They're going to show him, right? They're going to, at least to scoff at him, at least to laugh at him. And so they came to the address. They went to the address. I think there was 5 of them. And one of them is telling the story. He's already older man. He was the one who. So he said, we all went to this house and we all were sure, this old guy is, what's he going to tell us? We're going to laugh at him. So first of all, we saw that there was a lot of people there. There were a lot of people waiting, a lot of people going to see him. So that sort of set us back a little bit. We looked at the people. Some of them were businessmen. Some of them looked normal people. So we figured maybe, superstitious people, they want to have a blessing or something, but they didn't really look that way. They looked sort of, normal, regular Jews. They came to say, figure, what do we have to see this rabbi for? So we're sitting outside and we're smoking, talking, laughing. And suddenly one of the Rebbe's secretary came down and he said, the Rebbe would like to speak to you, to all of you, fine. So we said, we just arrived here. There's people that have been here for long before us. So he said, no, the Rebbe knows that, and nevertheless, he wants to speak to you. And so they said, okay. So the Rebbe, his room was upstairs. The person whose house he was staying at was, I guess, a fairly rich person, and he allocated one room for the Rebbe, emptied it out and put a chair and a desk there, whatever. So they went up the stairs. The Rebbe came out of his room to meet them. Please come in. So they were sort of surprised by this. They were sort of a little bit surprised. He was a friendly person. And not only that, his countenance it radiated love, appreciation. They saw that the Rebbe really, somehow or other, really appreciated, was really genuinely happy that they came. So the Rebbe said to them, please sit down. The Rebbe himself arranged the chairs around. They said, no, well, let us do it. So the Rebbe said, you're probably wondering why I let you in first. He said, all these people, he said, this one is come to see me because his daughter is sick. I'm a doctor. I know anything about medicine. I pray to God, and I hope that that his daughter will be well, and, I devote myself to God. And I hope that God will answer my prayers. This person came and he wants advice about his business. Well, I'm a businessman. I understand what business is. I know. This one wants to know about the location of his factory. This one wants to know. These people, I don't know about these things, right? I pray to God that God should have helped these people. And a lot of times it works. So, but you're coming here on matters of Torah. That's my expertise. That's what I devoted my whole life to Judaism, to Torah, and to commandments. Right? You're not here because of your health, because of money, because of anything. So he asked each one, what do you do? How are you? And do you do where do you come from? Do you do any commandments? So he said, after the Rebbe spoke to us for about a half an hour, we felt genuine warmth, something you don't feel in the streets. You don't feel anywhere else. A human being that really cares about other human beings. And he asked us if we could, please do even one commandment, even something small, that it would really help. It would help us. It would help others. It would bring blessing into the world. So we said, thank you very much. And he said that, he regrets he can't spend more time. And all these other people are waiting to see me. And so I think he said that he sat with them like 15 minutes or something like that. And they all left. He said afterwards, we all went out on the front porch again, where we were before. And this time we weren't laughing anymore. So this time we all were very serious. We met a person that is a genuine human being, and he really cared about us. And we suddenly saw that Judaism is something that's so infinitely good and pure and we can do it. So each one on that place, each one took on himself a resolution. One said he's going to try to keep Shabbos, and one said he's going to put on tefillin every day. And the one telling the story said, I was one of those boys that was there. From that little meeting, that quarter of an hour, I totally changed my life around. I decided I have to be a religious Jew. I became a businessman. Shabbos is Shabbos. Learning Torah is learning Torah. Praying with a minyan is praying with a minyan. Educating my children to do Torah and the commandments is that. And believe me, every penny that I earn since then has been meaningful. It's been meaningful. It didn't go to the bad things, the negative things. And so we see that the whole essence, just the presence of the Rebbe was enough to have a deep effect on people's lives to be more Jewish and to express their Judaism in a Jewish way. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and we'll see you all tomorrow, 8:15.